Manifestation is everything right now. I'm pretty sure that if you decided to watch this video, you're either curious about manifestation in general, or you'd like to know how to manifest better. Now, there are tons of videos out there with different hacks, techniques, methods, and even more videos with success stories from people who have manifested amazing things in their lives. Now, to be honest, I know this can be really overwhelming, especially if your manifestations aren't happening as quickly as you would like them to, or if they're not happening at all. In my experiences, I've found that when I feel overwhelmed by the process, if I hone in on the basics and quiet all that noise with respect to techniques and hacks, I not only feel better, but I'm able to manifest a lot better too. In this video, I'll be discussing the basics of manifestation using the law of assumption and the one thing, and it's seriously one thing, that people overlook that tends to delay their manifestations. So stick around, you don't want to miss it. What's up, guys? As always, I hope that this video finds you well and in excellent spirits. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Mel, and I'm the founder of Divine Feminine Works, where I help people unlock their divinity and discover their magic. And as always, if you are returning, welcome back. In today's video, we're going back to basics with respect to manifestation. If you're looking for the latest hack or technique or the fastest way to get your manifestation to show up magically in the next 3 days, then I'm sorry to disappoint, this video is probably not for you. However, if you want to know the one thing that can change your manifestation game completely, then keep watching. First things first, what is the law of assumption anyway? Simply put, the law of assumption is a universal spiritual law that states that whatever you assume to be true becomes your reality. Now, this law builds upon the first of the 7 Hermetic principles, the principle of mentalism, which states that the all is mind and the universe is mental. All this means is that thoughts become things, and everything in your 3D reality, meaning everything that you are aware of and that you can perceive with your 5 senses, begins first in the mind. Everything is mental first. Your thoughts and beliefs are what create your reality. This law applies to everyone, everywhere, and at all times. You are manifesting using the law of assumption, whether you realize it or not. The awareness of the law and your power to use it can be a little daunting, right? I remember when I first started manifesting using back then the law of attraction and now the law of assumption. It was a little scary because I felt like I had to monitor each and every thought. And I was nervous and anxious because I thought that every negative thought or every random thought that went through my head would manifest immediately. It almost literally drove me crazy, and I'm sure that you guys can relate. However, knowing how to use the law is key, which brings me to my next point. You are at the center of the law. You are the operant power of your universe. The key word here is you. Knowing who you are and the power that you possess is honestly half the battle. Often, when we first learn about manifestation and start using it, we overlook the fact that everything begins and ends with us. If we are the operant power of our universe, if we are the embodiment of God, then knowing that fact and acting from that fact become vital. It's easy to get lost in a sea of techniques and methods and people's success stories. I know exactly how that goes. You hear someone's success story and the first thing that you think is, what did they do to manifest that? Don't get me wrong, I'm definitely a fan of success stories. I feel like they encourage us and they motivate us. The problem is that when we focus too much on the technique or the other manifester, rather than focusing on the law itself, that's when manifestation kind of goes left. And that's when our manifestations get delayed or they don't even manifest at all. Know yourself and know your power. What works for one person may not work for another. What you're able to do to manifest something in 24 hours may not work at all for somebody else. On this manifestation journey, you need to know yourself, your inner workings, your habits, your likes, your dislikes, your shortcomings, and most importantly, stay in your lane. It's easy to forget that manifestation isn't just about manifesting an SP or manifesting a boatload of money. Manifestation is all about awakening your God self, that amazing, magnificent part of yourself that likely has been asleep for quite some time. So not only do you need to remember that you are the operant power of your universe, but you also need to prioritize yourself. Figure out what works best for you. And remember that at the very center of manifestation is you. Let's build on my second point. So if manifestation is all about you, then why aren't things working out as you would like? Well, one of the things that is very much overlooked in manifestation is the fact that it's not just about what you think, it's about what you embody. Neville Goddard, the granddaddy of manifestation using the law of assumption, has said that feeling is the secret, meaning that if you feel your manifestation as real, then it will become so. In my personal experience, that has definitely worked. However, I've tweaked this statement just a little bit. Rather than saying that feeling is the secret, I say being is the secret. It's a subtle difference, but a huge one, in my opinion. The word feeling makes us automatically think of emotions, right? Let's say you're trying to manifest an SP, which stands for a specific person if you don't already know. And so to do this, you focus on what it would feel like to be with this SP, right? You focus on love, you focus on acceptance, you focus on happiness, all of the emotions that you think go along with having this SP. And there's nothing inherently wrong with that. However, I think it misses the mark a little bit. Rather than focusing on what it'll feel like once you're with your SP, you need to focus on the person you will be once you're with your SP. Let's say that you want to manifest marriage, right? Rather than thinking about what it'll feel like to be married, you need to focus on how you will be as a married person. How does a married person think? What actions do married people take? It's not just about feeling married. It's about embodying the identity of a married person. Being and embodying a married person, in your mind, of course, is what solidifies your manifestation in the spiritual realm and therefore allows it to manifest in the 3D. Long story short, being is the secret. And this is the one thing that most people forget or overlook when they are manifesting. So let me give you a personal example. I had a debt of $27,000. Yes, $27,000 that needed to be paid by a hard deadline, okay? And if I didn't pay this money, there were gonna be some rather serious consequences. Now, I'm the type of person that tends to worry and have anxiety. I'm a Virgo sun, so you already know how that goes. And I got nervous about manifesting this. I was still sort of new to manifesting using the law of assumption. And I was like, okay, I know what the law is. I know what I have to do, so let me just do it. So rather than thinking about or affirming mindlessly that, oh, I have $27,000, I have $27,000, what I did was I embodied a person who was debt-free, who had no debt. It's as if the $27,000 didn't even exist. I said affirmations. I'm someone who's definitely into subliminal, so I created a subliminal that I would listen to at night. And I just embodied someone that didn't have a $27,000 debt. I had inner conversations about being debt-free. I imagined people saying, oh my God, I can't believe you got rid of that debt. And I just did that consistently. I embodied someone who was debt-free. And guess what? I was able to manifest $27,000 in 2 weeks in a very random way that I didn't even expect. Someone that I knew, wasn't necessarily that close to that person, but I knew them fairly well. They ended up calling me one day. I spoke to them and the conversation of the debt came up and they immediately wrote a check to me. I was able to pay off the debt early and everything was cleared. Everything was done. When I tell you that embodying the manifestation, embodying your desire is the secret to manifesting. It's not some technique, although techniques are tools that help you do this, but at the very foundation of manifesting is being. It's understanding that you are the operant power and it's embodying your manifestation. It's taking on the identity of your manifestation that helps solidify it. All right, so what happens next? So to recap, we understand the basics of the law of assumption. We recognize our own power in the whole situation, and we know that we have to embody our manifestation. So what happens between all of that and our manifestation actually coming to fruition? Well, to act or not to act? That is the question. And that seems to be the question that's hotly debated in the law of assumption community. There are some people that are of the thought and belief that if you just do the mental work, you'll attract everything that you need, so action isn't necessary. Whereas others, myself included, are of the thought and belief that at some point in time, you're going to have to take some sort of action. So if you're of the belief that you're going to have to take some action, how do you know when to take action, or how do you know what actions to take? Well, that's where the concept of inspired action comes in. Simply put, inspired action is the action or actions that you are urged to take when you are fully embodying your manifestation. So when you've taken on the identity of your manifestation and you feel the urge to take certain actions or do certain things, that is what is known as inspired action. So going back to our previous example, let's say that you want to manifest marriage to a specific person. So you understand the law and you've been embodying what it's like to be a married person. So when you're fully in the identity of a married person, you may feel the urge to take certain actions. Maybe that means going someplace new so you'll meet an entirely new person. Maybe it's picking up the phone and calling your ex or calling a friend and starting a relationship that way. Maybe it's traveling to some random place where you know that your SP will be. The point I'm trying to make is that when you're fully embodying a married person, when you are fully embodying your manifestation, you're going to be urged to take certain actions. Now, keep in mind, the how when it comes to our manifestations is none of our business. So you don't have to rack your brain thinking of different actions to take, or if I take this action, then this will happen. If I call this person, then this will happen. That's not your concern. The how is never your concern. The only thing you need to be concerned about is embodying your manifestation and taking whatever actions you are urged to take as you are embodying that manifestation. This concept also applies to habits, and I don't hear too many people talking about habits. Now, again, if you're of the belief that you don't have to take any action when it comes to manifestation, then this part of the video definitely isn't going to apply to you. But if you're like most people and you realize that you're going to have to take some action, you're also going to realize that certain habits are what allow your manifestation to come to fruition. And it's the same thing. Once you're embodying your manifestation, you'll be urged to form certain habits that will help your manifestation crystallize in the 3D. Let me use myself as an example. So I recently lost quite a bit of weight. I lost about close to 40 pounds, okay? And when I started my weight loss journey, I decided that I wasn't gonna do what I did in the past, which was yo-yo dieting or going to the gym on January 1st. I decided to use manifestation via the law of assumption in order to lose weight. And so what I did was I just embodied someone who was healthy and fit. I felt what it was like to be someone who was healthy, who was fit, and who had a banging body, all right? So what ended up happening is I went from someone who ate with reckless abandon, drank like a fish, and never worked out, to someone who tracked my food and my calories, worked out at least 4 times a week, and cut out alcohol almost entirely out of my diet. And as a result, the 40 pounds just melted away. Once my identity changed, my habits changed. It's not like I woke up one day and boom, 40 pounds was gone. The way that my manifestation came to fruition was that I formed the necessary habits to make it happen. And there's nothing wrong with that. While yes, you can definitely manifest in a way that doesn't require any action, that you can just melt 40 pounds of fat away, over time without working out, you can definitely do that. And I'm not here to debunk that at all. I'm just saying that for those who ascribe to the fact that at times you'll need to perform certain actions in order for your manifestation to come to fruition, it also includes our habits. Once our identity changes, our habits will change as well. But what I loved about this the most is that embodying someone that was healthy and fit actually worked when I didn't even work out. So the last 3 months, I haven't worked out at all. It's been summer here in the Northern Hemisphere, and I've just been living life and haven't really been working out. But the fact that I embody someone who is healthy and fit not only allowed me to keep the weight off, but it actually allowed me to continue my great habits when it comes to weight loss. And I still lost weight even without working out. And to be honest, I attribute this to my identity as someone who is healthy and fit. It's all about being, it's all about embodying, okay? Your actions and habits will reflect your new identity, and that is what allows your manifestation to become real. So at this point, you may be saying to yourself, all right, Mel, you've given me some great information in this video. So what do I need to do now to start manifesting immediately? Simply put, you start with your self-concept. Neville Goddard says, if a man's concept of himself would be different, everything in his world would be different. Everything begins and ends with you, and it starts with your self-concept. By knowing who you are and working on your identity, that's how you'll start manifesting. And to get you started, you can watch this video right here.